Indonesia's decision to approve a $450 million loan for the acquisition of the retired Italian aircraft carrier Giuseppe Garibaldi has generated considerable attention among regional observers, defense analysts, and naval strategists. The move represents a bold step in Jakarta's ongoing effort to modernize its naval aviation and maritime defense posture, while also signaling broader ambitions to establish itself as a regional power with carrier-based capabilities. Beyond the immediate financial commitment, the purchase reflects a complex set of strategic calculations, potential risks, and opportunities that could shape Indonesia's military trajectory for years to come. The Giuseppe Garibaldi, commissioned into the Italian Navy in 1985, is no ordinary vessel. For nearly 4 decades, it served as Italy's flagship in operations across multiple theaters, including NATO missions in Kosovo, counter-terrorism patrols in the Indian Ocean, and combat sorties during the Libya campaign. It was also deployed in maritime security missions and humanitarian roles, demonstrating versatility far beyond its initial designation as an anti-submarine warfare platform. The ship's eventual retirement in October 2024 coincided with the arrival of Italy's newer landing helicopter Dock ITS Trieste, leaving the Garibaldi available for transfer. For Indonesia, this timing presented a rare opportunity to leap into the ranks of aircraft carrier operators without the prohibitive costs of designing and building a vessel from scratch. The financing approval issued by Indonesia's Ministry of National Development Planning, Bappenas, not only covers the carrier but also includes additional allocations of up to $250 million for transport helicopters and $300 million for utility helicopters. This combined package underscores that Jakarta views the Garibaldi not as a symbolic acquisition but as the centerpiece of a broader aviation capability upgrade. The correspondence between government ministries makes clear that this project is considered a high priority for international financing, with options ranging from export credit agencies to bilateral lenders or private institutions. This flexibility suggests that Indonesia is serious about structuring the deal in a way that minimizes immediate fiscal strain while securing strategic assets. What makes the acquisition especially intriguing is the likely adaptation of the vessel for unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs. Indonesia has already reached agreements with Turkish company Baykar and its local partner Republicorp to produce navalized Bayraktar TB3 drones domestically, along with the Kinsi UAVs. The TB3 has successfully demonstrated takeoffs from ski jump ramps aboard Turkey's TCG Anadolu, making it well suited for operations from the Garibaldi's deck. At Indodefense 2025, a local Indonesian firm even presented a model of the carrier configured for drone and helicopter operations, featuring 2 distinct islands and deck layouts optimized for unmanned integration. If realized, this would place Indonesia among the first navies in the world to adapt an aircraft carrier specifically for mixed helicopter and UAV deployments, potentially setting a precedent for hybrid naval aviation platforms in the Indo-Pacific. The potential benefits of acquiring the Garibaldi are clear. Indonesia is an archipelagic nation with vast maritime responsibilities, stretching across thousands of islands and critical sea lanes. A mobile aviation platform could provide far-reaching capabilities for anti-submarine warfare, maritime patrol, humanitarian assistance, and disaster relief, missions that are especially relevant given the country's vulnerability to natural disasters and its need to secure busy shipping routes. Additionally, the presence of a carrier would elevate Indonesia's standing in regional security dialogues, projecting both deterrence and prestige. As Jakarta seeks to balance relationships with the United States, China, and its Southeast Asian neighbors, the symbolism of operating a carrier could serve diplomatic as well as military purposes. However, the move is not without risks. Critics have pointed to the experience of Thailand's HTMS Chukri Narrowbet, a Spanish-built carrier that has struggled with limited operational value due to maintenance costs, budget constraints, and lack of suitable aircraft. Indonesia must ensure that the Garibaldi does not become a costly prestige item with little practical use. Sustaining a carrier requires more than initial financing, it demands a steady flow of resources for maintenance, upgrades, training, and aviation integration. The ship is already 4 decades old, and while Fincantieri has presented proposals for modernization, details about the scope, cost, and timelines of these refits remain undisclosed. Without comprehensive planning, the carrier could quickly turn into a financial burden rather than an operational asset. The industrial and logistical dimensions of the deal are equally important. Indonesia's defense industry, led by shipbuilder PT PAL, has ambitions to construct amphibious helicopter carriers domestically, potentially in partnership with foreign firms such as Fincantieri or Hyundai Heavy Industries. If Indonesia integrates the Garibaldi effectively, the lessons learned could feed directly into future indigenous programs, giving local engineers and naval planners invaluable hands-on experience. Conversely, if the challenges of retrofitting and operating the Garibaldi overwhelm available resources, it could undermine confidence in Indonesia's ability to sustain larger and more complex platforms in the future. The financing decision also fits into the broader context of Indonesia's Minimum Essential Force program, a long-term modernization effort designed to elevate the country's defense capabilities to meet regional challenges. Jakarta's navy already envisions operating at least 4 amphibious helicopter carriers, which would transform its force structure and enhance its capacity for both combat and non-combat operations. Against this backdrop, the Garibaldi represents both a test case and a stepping stone. If successful, it could accelerate the realization of this vision; if not, it could highlight the limits of Indonesia's defense budget and industrial base. Another factor to consider is Indonesia's growing defense cooperation with Italy. Beyond the potential transfer of the Garibaldi, the partnership already includes the delivery of 2 multipurpose combat ships, renamed Brawijaya 320 and Prabu Siliwangi 321, constructed by Fincantieri. These naval projects suggest that Rome and Jakarta are building a foundation of trust and mutual benefit, one that extends beyond a single deal. For Italy, transferring the Garibaldi helps reinforce its role as a defense partner in the Indo-Pacific, while Indonesia benefits from access to European technology and expertise. Strategically, Indonesia's carrier ambition comes at a time of intensifying maritime competition in the region. China's expanding naval presence in the South China Sea, coupled with ongoing disputes over territorial waters, has raised alarms among Southeast Asian nations. By acquiring a carrier, Indonesia not only boosts its deterrence posture but also signals its intent to play a more active role in regional security. While Jakarta traditionally avoids aligning too closely with any single great power, the symbolism of a carrier allows it to showcase independence, capability, and resolve. Looking ahead, the success of this initiative will depend on several factors. First, the technical modifications proposed by Fincantieri must align with Indonesia's operational needs, particularly regarding UAV integration and helicopter operations. Second, sustainable funding must be secured not just for acquisition but for long-term operation, training, and maintenance. Third, the Indonesian Navy will need to develop doctrines and personnel structures tailored to carrier operations, a demanding task that requires years of experience and rigorous training pipelines. Ultimately, Indonesia's move to acquire the Giuseppe Garibaldi reflects both ambition and pragmatism. It is ambitious in its intent to join the exclusive club of carrier-operating navies, leveraging an opportunity presented by Italy's fleet renewal. It is pragmatic in its recognition that a used vessel, coupled with drone and helicopter integration, may provide a cost-effective way to test and expand naval aviation without immediately committing to an expensive indigenous carrier project. Whether this gamble pays off will depend on how Jakarta manages the delicate balance between prestige and practicality, between aspiration and sustainability. If successful, the acquisition could redefine Indonesia's maritime posture and establish the groundwork for a new era of naval aviation in Southeast Asia. If not, it risks repeating the mistakes of others who pursued carriers without the infrastructure to support them. Either way, Indonesia's decision to approve financing for the Giuseppe Garibaldi has already reshaped the conversation about naval power in the Indo-Pacific, ensuring that Jakarta's maritime ambitions will be closely watched in the years to come.